And we're back here once again with another episode of the Cloud9 Podcast, Season 17, Episode 10. So I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you guys have a great weekend that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the Cloud9 Podcast, we are going to be talking about the LCS 2026 Spring Split begins, T1 struggling, and also Dignitas get blasted. Now, to be fair, the last two are always happening no matter what. But the one constant thing is something that I've known in League of Legends ever since I started watching competitive esports back during Worlds 2014, which is that there's death, taxes, Faker wins Worlds, Chovy chokes out Worlds, and Dignitas will always suck ass. Dignitas will always be bad, no matter any split, any time of the season, any time of the week. Like, I remember, do you remember like back in the day, it was a 2017 LCS summer split. Dignitas' only big win in the playoffs was beating Cloud9 when they had contracts. That was their only big playoffs win, and they've only ever peaked out at losing a third place match because after they beat Cloud, because people remember them beating Cloud9 in that playoff match. This is before we had double elimination. They went on to lose every series because after that they lost to TSM 3-1. Then they lost to CLG. Then they were in the regional qualifier. They lost the first round of that. So they back to back L's. Just fucking Dignitas. Remember they were really good with Dardoch for a little bit there. Then they just canned him just randomly.
I feel like Dardoch may have found some troubles finding a home. He might have had some off the rift issues. As far as esports players are concerned. But
I find it funny that every single year they're bad. There's not even points that they're actually really good. There's not even points that they're even guys. I want you to understand. There's not even points in their career they've even been like first or second. They've always been either blatantly middle of pack or just absolute ass.
Yeah, like being average for Dignitas makes everyone say, "Oh, Dignitas are doing so well this year." By being average, they are doing well. It really, like, I looked when I did my team previews and I'm looking at the rosters. Dignitas, not to, ages, whatever, but you're like, damn, this team's just, there's nothing here that makes me feel like there is potential. Like, these players have peaked or maybe never peaked. Ignar didn't even play last year at all. He didn't even have a job, and he comes back and, it's a terrible team. I think Photon, in my opinion, Photon is probably like a tier 1 player in terms of like he could play LEC, LCS, CBLOL, and he's that quality. But I feel bad for him because he went from Vitality with Bo to this freaking disaster. The guy, in my opinion, deserves better. But
I agree. He's one of those players, guys. If you swap out Photon for Thanatos and Cloud9, you wouldn't even really notice anything. He's that kind of player where if he was on Cloud9 or a Team Liquid right now, in my opinion, or you swap him out on Lion, if you could get Photon on Lion, that would make their team exponentially better. I think the only reason why he's on Dignitas is because at that moment in time, like you said, when that Vitality roster just went and got worse and worse in that year, that was the only team that even offered him anything. So he probably was like, you know what? It's either this is the only offer I get or I just wait around for another offer. I understand it. I get it from a point of view like he has, but it's like, how does this help your career though? Everyone's just going to be like, well, you were on Dignitas, so you were probably part of the problem too. Cause a lot of people don't think about like when a team's this bad, people just think all the players are bad. And it's like, not really. It just depends on which type of circumstance you're talking about. He is not the reason why their team is bad at all. He just is a player where that was the only offer he got when that team imploded and no one was offering him anything, which is crazy considering the quality of LEC top laners. You think he'd just be an instant pickup, Dignitas is so garbage, man. Like it's every year. It's not even just like this split. Guys, I want you to understand, it's every year, every week, every split, every single time. I don't even know what you could do. I have no idea what you can do because it's an every year thing. Even when they rebranded as Clutch Gaming, they still had a lot of problems. What's crazy is they rebranded as Clutch Gaming at one point
and went to Worlds.
It's like reverted back, Well, just things happen. I just don't get it. I literally don't get it. Like Palafox, there's a reason why Shopify kicked him. He isn't good himself. He peaked for like that little bit of a period that NRG peaked with FBI as well. FBI last year was showing he had a lot of, and I like FBI. I think he had one of the best peaks of being an ADC some years ago, but he's showing that he himself like kind of forgets how to play ADC. He was doing this on 100 Thieves last year at Worlds. Remember, like he was playing against T1 in that best of one game to actually move on to be later in the tournament. Dude forgot how to position, forgot how to do anything. Ignore, like you said, he's probably still tilted from having to play with Patrick.
Yeah.
Bro just doesn't even care anymore. Just bro, play with Patrick. His whole brain is fried.
Yep. Guy goes from going on a run with NRG to getting stuck with Patrick. Like, and it's something. It's too bad because like Ignar has had two good runs. If you really think about it, the FlyQuest 2020 run.
You're right. Yeah. You're right.
With Santorin and PoE and Wild Turtle top laner might have been solo. Maybe.
Solo. Yeah, it was later. It was Viper. Then it was solo. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So like Ignar's had two really good runs, like and two runs that actually like that FlyQuest team, it was like a group of death for mid laners because it was a Chovy Knight group and Unicorns of Love had No Man's, and No Man's I think is like one of the most underrated players in
I thought he was actually pretty solid. Yeah,
I'll never forget his Cassidy game against, I think it was against FlyQuest, where he like ran away, like he evaded death for like 25 seconds on fucking Cassidy. It was insane. But I mean, Dignitas are kind of screwed. Like XU, I just think maybe XU never had it really. But also you could argue XU kind of got fucked, right? I mean, he's pretty much been on GG and Dignitas. So it's not like he's had opportunities to be on a team that was decent ever. And maybe that goes to show the part of the problem with no academy teams anymore is you don't get, it's harder to get players from tier 2 into tier 1 because they aren't getting those regular, even internal scrims against, tier 1 teams all the time. It's just not happening. And
the buyouts too. But like even if you wanted to go out and pick up a player that is good in NACL, I'd imagine the buyout for that player is going to be pretty exponentially huge because we know like a lot of these teams that they've even tried to go and like the LEC, for example, they'll go to like some of the ERL teams that you hear about and they try to get a player, but the buyout is so expensive. Like, is that even worth the investment after you've already committed to a staff and a chef and the utilities you're going to pay for the year and all that stuff? And I think you said a second ago is really true about Dignitas. Like with all the players there, Dignitas seems to be like, if you have no offers from literally anybody, guys, I'm including Brazil in that too. Literally, if you have offers from nobody, they'll be like, hey, we can be. It's like that. What's that movie that had Tom Welling in? It was called Ghost Ship. Like you had no. It was like I forgot. There's like there's those movies out there where like the entity is like your last ditch effort when you have nothing left. It's like those movies like that. Like Dignitas is like an entity where basically if you have no other offers, then the players go. Like Palafox wasn't gonna have any offers after his bad year on Shopify. FBI was probably not going to get any offers after not performing that well in 100 Thieves and when he was underperforming in that many instances toward the latter end of last year. Ignar wasn't looked at as favorable after his stint on GX with Patrick. Who's the other guy? Who's their and came on. Zayu. Zayu is another issue. Zayu was on their team, got kicked for being absolutely terrible, then went to DSG, was absolutely terrible, then was like, you know what? I have no other options. I'm going back here. After he already shit-talked them and said they were a bad org.
Oh, that is right. He did spend the first split last year with.
Remember? Yeah, he was on Dig. Yeah, he was on Dig, then DSG back to Dig, and he had said how horrible Dig was ran. And everyone, we're like, yes, dude, we agree with you. Keep in mind, Dignitas is the same org that allowed Surdy to put a hit video on their own YouTube channel calling them complete trash.
Hey, you got to give credit for transparency.
I will do that. I will say Surdy's personality rubbed me a wrong way. I don't know if I could ever be around a guy like that. He gave me the ick. I don't know. Something about that guy was like, I don't know if you're actually pretty cool. I don't know.
There's a reason a player of his caliber doesn't have a job. Right.
I think it's attitude.
It's got to be, right? You think of all the orgs he was on in like four North American orgs. He was in Liquid, he was in FlyQuest, he was in EG, he was in Dignitas.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Like, I mean, and these are orgs, winning orgs, right? They're adding players. They're going, Team Liquid may not be going on deep runs. EG may not, but they were going to international events. They were competitive teams, and they passed on Surdy. And hell, think about OS teams passed on Surdy, and it's just
it has to be his attitude. And it's one of those I don't want to keep in mind, guys, these shows are most about talking about esports and traditional sports, stuff like that. And come on, on my other show, I get into all that stuff. I will just say, from hearing him talk, from seeing his demeanor, that kind of demeanor, and keep in mind, that demeanor can work for some people if you can kind of balance it out with kind of like humor. That kind of personality he has is not good. I have been around people like that, and I myself, keep in mind, I tolerate a lot of people. I can pretty much with any person. That one is not one I'll deal with. And he has a kind of personality. Come on. I'm not saying I've known the guy or spoken to him like that, but it looks like he has a personality where, like, he's so competitive. Come on, being competitive is fine. I'm competitive myself. Nothing wrong with that. But he has this kind of personality, I feel like, where, like, nothing can make him happy. Even if something is going good, I feel like he'll never actually be a happy person, to the point where it would be a miserable experience being around him. I feel like he would give that kind of, it's like that friend you used to have, like, or acquaintance you would know growing up, or like that person that in school, where, like, if you're on his team, you're not gonna have fun, and then the other team is all having fun, they're jumping up and down having fun. Doesn't seem like a very fun person to be around. Like, no offense to the guy, I didn't get a very good vibe from that guy. And the way he talked about the team he was on was like, dude, I agree that Dignitas is bad, but I don't know if you're not part of the problem either. Like, this guy couldn't even play Scion properly. I think one of the times he was playing, he, like, tried to Q, didn't do it properly, so they didn't hit the ADC. Then the whole team just got wiped. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, you really do think about it. Surdy was a carry sort of top player, so playing a Scion is not. That's the thing. Like, maybe that's the type. One of the reasons what held him back too. These teams are like, hey, we need a guy that can do both. You can't do both. We can't have a one pro, type of top laner. You need somebody that can do both. And I mean, yeah, it's got to be the attitude. I mean, I don't listen to much content, so I can't say I've heard him much, but if all these orgs are passing on you, the common denominator is you. So, I mean, it is what it is. I know a lot of people have said, oh, Surdy is really good. He should be on a team. He's getting fucked over, this and that. It's like,
that could be true too.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, maybe, but the fact is 3 orgs were willing to give him chances. 4 orgs were willing to give him chances. Even if, like, the first one blackballed him or whatever, like, you have 4 orgs in a row that gave him opportunities, and you couldn't, like, win over those orgs to give you a shot in tier 1. So, yeah, I mean, well, Dignitas did in the end, but I mean,
yeah. Also, to add to your point about Surdy and players on Dignitas, people understand, when you look good on a bad team, it's been proven numerous times and times again, they'll pick you up. Like, he wasn't even, like, some of these players, I want you guys to understand as well, Dignitas is here, about some of these players. If you do not, outside of Photon, if you do not perform very well, it's likely chances your chances of getting LCS opportunities is over. Because, like, where else could these players go, though? Because it seems like, I mean, unless Cloud9 just go, hey, FBI, now we're taking you over Sven.
I was going to say that's the only thing I could see.
Yeah, which they probably should. But I think that wouldn't be a bad option. It's just, I don't see these players getting meaningful opportunities outside of Dignitas this year unless they perform very well. And it doesn't look like it. After seeing their games, I was like, this team is terrible. This is, like, horrible. Yeah. Like, they take all this time off. They've been off for a while, and when they say they've scrimmed and practiced, guy, I have to believe that's just bull. Unless they're lying, or the people they're practicing against literally don't give a flying fuck that they're performing against them, and are just trying out random shit they would never do on stage. Yes. It has to be one of the two things, Like, remember that story that Blaver gave? There was a story Blaver gave when they were scrimming against T1. He said Faker picked Nidalee mid, ran down bot, camped them for 15 minutes starting at level 1, they got beaten so hard they straight up all AFK'd at 10 minutes. What I was saying, Faker would never do that on a stage game ever. It's because he just does. They don't respect. Like I don't understand. I don't. Western players don't understand this. They don't respect you. That's why they're doing that. Nobody that respects you would do that. They don't think of you as a good player. So I imagine when teams are performing against Dig and scrims, it has to be like, oh, it's Dignitas. I mean, Yorick mid, John atop with Ignite.
Yeah,
fuck it.
I mean, they're probably scrimming collegiate teams, NACL teams.
True.
And yeah, they are going to beat them. And maybe I think it was on the podcast I did with Peter Dunn and Thorin, where they mentioned something about the value that comes with winning scrims, builds your confidence, this and that. You don't want.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
And theoretically, yeah, but at the same time, like if you're not, if you're like completely aware of what's going on, you're looking at it and saying, wow, I'm beating the shit out of teams that I should beat the shit out of in scrims. Like, it's not like there's nothing really like, it's like T1 against Cloud9. Like you said, T1 have nothing to gain against Cloud9 in scrims. They have nothing to gain. Like, they're going to go and they can try crazy ass shit, but C9 are going to give them crazy ass shit back, and it just, it's no good. It's no good. You shouldn't.
True.
And speaking of Photon, and I could see, I was thinking this whole time, like Berserker getting that North American residency, and
he does get that. Yeah.
Well, he just got it, and a lot of people are upset, saying, immediately everyone's saying that Dokla needs to be replaced and Isles needs to be replaced because they have a new import spot, and now they're going to have another player that isn't North American if they get rid of Dokla, and I'm like, man,
I think Idol's justified his spot. I'll be honest here. I was never a huge. I've seen this guy ever since he started. I was never that big on him. Literally up until, guys, I'm not kidding. First stand and this past week, like the gaming they had against Cloud9. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Idol's actually really has improved. He's actually been playing really well. It would make no sense to get rid of him if he's hitting a stride right now. Dokla, you could argue, makes sense, but to be fair, they never wanted Dokla anyway. They wanted Zamudo, and for some reason, the visa issue with Zamudo just never made it happen. I'll be honest, getting rid of Isles makes no sense. He's actually playing at first stand, he was really popping off. He's been popping off recently too, like that Nico he had against Cloud9 in one of their games. I'll understand, in that Cloud9 series we're going to talk about right now, it was not the bot lane's fault they lost those games at all. It was completely all on Dokla that they just straight up shit the bed. And Saint is one of just the most inconsistent mid laners almost ever. So, might as well just be the hell thing of mid laners for the LCS at this point, because this guy will either give you a really good game or the next game you're going 0-10. There's no in between. I will say, Isles looks very good. Berserkers, when he played Caitlyn against Cloud9 spot lane, I have no idea how. Guys, I'll be honest here. I love Cloud9 to death, but I have no clue how the fuck they even won that series. I don't. Thanos had to put on the Infinity Glove and will some magic voodoo witchcraft style to win, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, they were losing most of those games. Even the game that they won could have been lost. Because Cloud9, another problem that Cloud9 has, they took some time off. Well, they almost won. Free play. I was almost winning it all. They lost to Lion, went to America's Cup, got really fisted, took some time off. They said they were doing 7 days a week scrimming, and they were solo queue. Guys, I'm honest, did not look like that. Not look like that. It looked like nothing improved. I'll be honest here, it looked like nothing improved. It looked like the same shit.
Yeah, it looked like I remember going into it, I predicted Cloud9 to win, and it was simply like domestic Cloud9 overperform. It's either they are overperforming in regular season, or literally when Blabber has a game that matters, he just shits the bed. And they're playing Lion. It's like, this is the type of series that Cloud9 is just going to win. Lion also Lion through that series for sure. I think I want to say the gold control stat was maybe 2/3 in Lion's favor throughout that series. Like minutes played, like they're ahead for 2/3 of the time, which is even more egregious than when Lion lost to JDG at first stand. That was a 55-45 split in Lion's favor. But yeah, I mean, Cloud9 get a W, but all it does is make Brazil think they're even better because they're like, wow, look, this Cloud9 beat Lion and we beat all of we didn't let Cloud9 win a single game or whatever the fuck happened. So, or what? No, Cloud9, Furia didn't lose a game, but either way, I mean,
I think Blabber is still showing the same issues too.
Yes, he has the same issues. He in clutch situations, he's had the same issues since he replaced Fenskaren. I mean, really, you think about a Cloud9 international success and really consistency at competing for titles really hasn't been there. You think about it, the biggest letdowns of these super teams have been from Cloud9 since Blabber was
it's crazy. Jungler. Vulcan and Blabber were on that scouting grounds team together. They've been on Cloud9 forever. It's just so odd at this point. And what's crazy is a lot of people just, oh my God, you're talking to some absolute moron when it comes to League, when they're, and the caption will go like this, dude. It'll always be like this. Well, Blabber's really good and they should replace him. So they agree he should be gone. But then they go, who do you replace him with? Guys, this is how I know I'm talking to an idiot. In life, just point out, in life, if you have that mindset, you will literally never improve. This is why most of you guys don't improve. If you know something is bad and you know something is stagnant and you've already got the most out of it, the max you'll ever get out of it, you go look for something else because there's not much more you can gain from it. Most teams, because you guys say only Worlds matters, right? Cool. If we're going to use only Worlds matters as your logic, this is your logic, not mine. T1 doesn't use that logic. T1 changed players. The only constant is Faker. You know what's crazy? Originally, T1 won with Piglet. Then they won with Bang. Then they won with now Gumayusi almost 4 times. So by your logic, since they won with Piglet back in Season 3, they should have never got rid of Piglet ever at all. This is logic we're talking about here with absolute morons. It doesn't matter if you want to initially find somebody. That is the point of a growing pain. This is the problem with generation now we're going through. They don't know. They think like struggling and growing pains are the worst thing imaginable. And that is ludicrous. You cannot have a life without struggling or growing. If Cloud9 ever want to make better the situation, yes, there's going to be a split. We are not going to be top 2. There's going to be a split. You might be 4th with a new jungler. You have to try things out to see if they work, but not trying, then losing, and then trying to big brain it going, I don't know what the problem is. You know what the problem is. You just don't want to put in the effort to fix the problem. And keep in mind, I get it. The unknown is scary. I agree with you. But what's the better alternative? Keeping the same person that keeps doing this? Or you just don't try to get somebody else? Because I think in their mind, if they tank, not like tanking a split, but like if they're 4th instead of 2nd, that's a failure. And it's like, no, being top 4 is still fine. That's okay. It just depends on what kind of top 4 team you are. Are you only top 4 because the other 3 are that much more competitive? Or are you only top 4 because everyone else is shit? There's differences, obviously. But this logic of, well, who are they going to find? Or the other logic is, who are they going to find better? Guys, I promise you there's better out there. The fact that you even think that goes to show you that you just don't know what the hell you're talking about. What do you mean? Guys, there's Fnatic found better back when they had Brox at that random time, when they got rid of when Nico de Pico and Amazing had issues. Remember? Fnatic did that. Every successful we'll use G2. We'll only go off West when they had Trick back in the day. Then they swapped Trick out for who's after him? They had Yankos.
Yankos, yeah.
Then after that, now they had Yike. Then after that, we'll use Yike and Skewmon. A lot of people, myself included, thought Skewmon was gonna be that good. We didn't know about him. First year was all right. This year he was really good. Now, if G2 used the same logic as Cloud9 did, they will be stuck with Trick still to this day. You have to try stuff out. It's the point. I don't know what is with people in life these days where they just, for some reason, struggling is hard. Trying out things is hard. Just try it and see if it works. Try a 6-man just for a week. See if it works. If it doesn't, at least you tried. They're not even willing to try anything. I don't know how to fix these problems because you're not even trying to fix them in general, unless they don't think there's a problem, which is a whole different story in general. But what do you think, man?
I think you could argue, like, I am not as high on UG as everybody else is.
Mm-hmm. The Carmine Corp jungler. Yeah, that guy.
No, not Yukino, Yuji, the kid that played with Team Liquid last year.
Yeah, okay.
he's already over here. Just sign him. I mean, because I didn't even think about it. I was thinking Kisno this whole time, the kid that played with Disguise briefly, and he played too small of a sample size for me to really say that like he would be somebody that I'd feel very confident in going with. But go for this other kid, and I think you don't lose the fans over it. The problem is Cloud9 is such an established org that they if they take a risk, it's going to be a big risk because people nowadays, like you just said, they can't go through growing pains themselves. They can't watch growing pains. They can't handle a team struggling for what is
any extended period of time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the end, that's what drives most of these player moves is the fact that these orgs are beholden to their fans, letting their fans run the organizations. People bitching online about the roster when hell, really, if you think about it, KT last year ran an 8-man roster. They played Duck Dom and Poddock in winter or LCK Cup. They played Peter. Actually, they started with Wei and then went to Peter. They put in Casting in place of Perfect. And in the end, they hit it right at the meta fit them in summer and they go on to win Worlds. And it's like, it's one of those things where teams make decisions rather quickly due to poor performance. But the meta right now is not the meta you're going to see at Worlds. So who's carrying now probably isn't going to be the player that you need to rely on to carry in summer because the meta will shift. Mm-hmm. And it's a thing like maybe you put in Yuji. I mean, this goes back to the whole lack of academy teams thing. Like the fact that they got Blabber and Vulcan was because they had C9 Academy and they had scouting grounds and things.
Right. Yeah.
Like that needs to happen. Like if Cloud9 want to actually be better, like if these, it's one of those things. Like I say these I wish I could look the team owners in the face and say, do you see your investment lasting more than 5 or 10 years from now? Because without an academy team, it's not going to last.
Right. Do you remember when Grabs had an interview? I don't know if he was, I forgot where it came from, but I remember he had an interview before Danny came up and he had said, there's no possible way or reason this region doesn't have some talent like that. He didn't say there was a lot. He said there's no possible way that there isn't any talent. Yeah. And then Peter Dunn, whom you talked to, I like him a lot, brought up Danny. Jojo, right? See why Danny didn't pan out as long, but Jojo still ended up winning, right? I did this thing of like just we're scared of not doing as good in a regular season or a split. Come on, guys. This logic that just because you finish top 2 in a split means that maybe you'll automatically win the split. Guys, Lion finished like what 4th, 5th, and just made a run. Like, who's to say you don't just hit a stride in the playoffs and just make a complete run? There was a split back in 2022 with G2 when they had Flacken and Targamas where they got knocked down into the lower bracket by Fnatic, actually. And then they made a run all the way to the finals and won against Rogue. I'm like, this thing of like, if the unknown is so scary, but we're just going to do only this constant thing. And granted, it probably won't work, but it's the only thing we know. It's like, that's just suicide. That's actually just, you're so scared of trying anything else out. You just only do that. And it's like, that's kind of where they've been at with Cloud9. I love Cloud9 and death, but it's like Zen and Vulcan, to be honest with you guys, they were horrible in that last series. They were bad. They were getting shit stomped hard. I have no clue how they won any of those lanes. Maybe Berserker went, you know what, let's just send it for a day because they were getting railed. And it's been, and keep in mind, I'll take some leeway off Vulcan. It's been mostly Sven, but Vulcan has proved he can't really function on his own without Sven sometimes. Now we're just in a constant world where no one can function. And well, APA is just, I don't know what he's supposed to be here for. I really don't know. He's just here for the vibes. That's all I got. He's just here for vibes, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what he does good or bad, but he can't have a player like him can work though. I make fun of him sometimes, but he can work as a player. Yep. Your other 4 pieces have to be more exceptional for him to work as a piece though. Thanatos is a great piece, but Thanatos himself, and I love that guy, but he isn't a problem himself. Playoffs, he seems to be kind of invisible too. At one point, do we go, is he just blabber of top lane? Because in playoffs, he just becomes like, it's like that doggo meme where it's like T1 at regular season, the T1 at Worlds is bigger.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It says, man, Cloud9, why are you giving me all these problems? Oh, God. The first love problems, man.
Well, it's a tough first love, then, I'll tell you that. Tough one.
Because disappointment and the highs and lows are always there. But, but overall, guys, it's not that I don't like watching the LCS or anything like that. It's just one of these where, last split was so bad. I will say the format is way better because last split's formats were terrible. Those were the worst formats ever.
Yes, those formats are terrible. I mean, I can't stand the formats. I really can't. They're fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I know everyone wants first stand for a third international, but they have not figured out the whole domestic part of working in a third international. That they just haven't. Like LCK. I mean, hell, LCK Cup had HLE finishing 10th place.
And
HLE
0-5.
Yes, and HLE literally are on paper the third best roster in that region. Like they have, what? Do they have 3 world champions?
It was even worse last year. Nothing will be as bad as the year before. People don't remember. There was last year, not this year's LCK Cup. The last year's LCK Cup. T1 got first in their group, and that didn't even get them double elimination. The point of even having double elimination as a thing is that it rewards a team for their regular season. Like, okay, you did good regular season. You know what? We can't offer you much. I can get you an extra round in the playoffs. Okay, that's awesome. And for some reason, if T1 had lost that series to Nongshim when they didn't have Scout and they had that, oh God, when they had Jaiwu, holy, he was ass. That means that T1 would have gotten double elimination. Guys, I want to ask you this. How was a team that went, I think they went 5-1. How do you just not automatically get double elimination by that? Why would you have to play Hanwha Life to get out? Keep in mind, it's even worse in the spring split. I thought that was worse than LCK. No, it's worse in spring. No, they just don't have a finals. And people said last year, but Gen.G and T1's finals wouldn't have mattered, which is stupid because that's a great rivalry anyway.
Yeah.
Idiots on Reddit actually said it wouldn't have mattered because, well, we already know the finalists for MSI. What? You can have a finals for that. They could both be at MSI because they got it. They earned it. Now the finals. What's the point of not having a finals, though? If esports is supposed to mimic traditional sports, the biggest thing about getting to the finals is having the finals itself.
Yeah.
Why would we not have a finals? Not having a finals is stupid. So that means Gen.G have won an extra split, but it doesn't count because you don't have a trophy to show for it. So that means the LCK is incentivizing teams in this split, the spring split, just to finish second. All you have to do is win that qualifying match.
Yes.
In the second place match, and you're good. What kind of logic are we sending to our teams? You can pretty much suck this entire split, maybe get in 6th seed, and make a run to that runner-up match, win that runner-up match, and then go to MSI. Because you don't have a finals, so what are you playing for in the finals? It's like, what kind of logic are we using here? It's so stupid. That's ridiculous. Whoever thought of that, you were a crackhead. You're smoking that top ramen we got here in California.
Well, I think they should. Really, the LCK had the best regular season format out of anybody before first stand with the double round robin. It was fair. It was true, even strength of schedule. And that's what they're incorporating in rounds 1 through 2, right? So why not, LCK could play games on Tuesdays and still fill out that arena. The arena isn't massive. They could fill it out every day. The fact LPL plays every day they play pretty much. So why do the LCK not play, Monday, Tuesday to try and fit a regular season and then do playoffs for spring like the LPL are in that way and actually determine it that way. I mean, this year the LCK, because they lost first stand, do not have both seeds going to elimination immediately, going to knockout stage. I think the LPL got that because BLG won first stand.
Yes,
so technically now, I mean, actually, well, I would love to say the LCK have a guaranteed run in because who the fuck's going to beat them? I mean, G2 proved that apparently they're capable this year of keeping the LCK out of, the main event of MSI, I guess, if you will. But the winner will get a better placement than the loser. It's just the fact that we know the loser's probably still going to probably have to play, LCS or LCP. And, I mean, that's just a guaranteed win. Whether it's T1, Gen G, doesn't make a difference. HLE.
Also, speaking of T1, they've really been struggling recently. I mean, I know people are going to be like, well, they won the series last night 2-0. There was a lot, like, oh, God. I don't even know what's been going on with them. Because, and to be fair, there's always that time in a season, whether it's league or NBA or NFL, where even a team that you think should be good, they play against a bad team. You expect them to beat the bad team. It usually always happens. They look really sloppy when they do it, but they still win. So I'm thinking of it, maybe I'm just coping it in my brain. They use that as a confidence booster win. Be like, okay, guys, we're not that bad. We can do it. That's the only way to do it, guys, because that looked they won game one rather so convincingly, I would say. Some odd issues here. Game two, I don't know how DN Supers just don't win that game. I don't know how. They were just completely running it. T1 got absolutely blasted by Gen G. They got absolutely blasted by KT. And I even said this last year. They won with Door. They won Worlds with Dorn. Okay, you proved you can win Worlds with practically anybody. If they had Oscar in, they probably could have won Worlds too. Okay, cool. You proved that. Now, why is he still here? Because guys, they did win Worlds with Doran. That's true. They actually almost lost Worlds because of that guy. People don't forget the opposite effect. Had they had actually lost that series, he would have gotten all the blame, rightfully so, because he was absolutely terrible. He actually ran it down so hard. Actually, one of the plays he did, they were winning. Bro just Camille walled into a whole team of 4 people and just killed himself. Just for the love of the game. Bro's just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna just do it. My mind's telling me no, my body's telling me hell yeah. It's the kind of Flowers always says. But I try to talk to T1 fans on Twitter, but they're absolutely just morons. Why don't they get someone better? It's T1. Anyone's going to want to play for you guys. You have it's not like no one wants to play for you. It's nothing about that. So I don't know what problem is it here. Now, Carrier hasn't been performing very well. Owner, for some reason, hasn't been performing very well. Faker's been very, very just not good. I don't know. It's really odd to see them go through this because people always kind of forget that sometimes they actually are the second best team most of the time. Not every split they're struggling, though. They traditionally, most of the time, are like, second, third place, usually having some very good record. This split is like reminiscing some of their summer splits where they just look really bad. Like, guys, they look pretty awful right now. Now, could they bounce back like they did last spring split and go to MSI with whoever goes? Sure, it's possible. But looking at it right now, yikes. Absolutely yikes. That first game against KT, Faker looked like he wanted to get up and just AFK alive.
I mean, maybe it's because Coma isn't there right now. I think Coma is away.
Yeah, he is.
So maybe that's playing a role in it. Tom, really hasn't been the head coach for much. He was the head coach after Bangy left and they went to win Worlds, but otherwise Coma's been running the show. And I mean, there's something to be said. These are young. I mean, for the most, you look at Owner and Carrier being younger players. Pay's obviously extremely young. Pay's, I guess, he's one MSI, but at the same time, you say to yourself, are they going to take games off? Probably. They've won Worlds how many times in a row now after taking games off? It's kind of like, T1 and G2 are extremely similar, in my opinion, that they know they can take the regular season off. If they can get in the playoffs, that's when things really start getting real. And then internationally is when things really matter. And it is what it is. I mean, really, like, KT winning these couple series is nice. Obviously, they struggled in LCK Cup. They struggled for the majority of last season.
Yeah, they were not good last year at all.
Except for the run. Like, literally, they were like, in my opinion, they were DRX 2026, as far as I'm concerned. Like, it wasn't the same type of way they got to finals, but it was very similar. It's like, wow, this team's just kind of like peaking at the right time. So it's like, you're against T1, you beat T1. T1 probably, I don't think T1 are taking it seriously. And maybe that's a problem, for their attitudes and things like that. Maybe we can say they should be taking it more seriously, but there's
it looks like they're because maybe in their minds they're also maybe hoping that they kind of get it together too. That's another thing with teams like that I've noticed is like in their minds they genuinely think they'll just kind of the magic conch will just blow and everything will just come together. Keep in mind, could happen. I agree, it's very possible, but it's just when you look at series like this, you're like, ooh, hopefully that's the case. Hopefully you can get it together.
Like this morning, even you look at LPL, JDG, anyone's legend, right? We have two teams that are probably teams that you could expect to go to Worlds, right? And in my opinion, I think all LPL teams and LCK teams have a chance to win Worlds. Now, I know the LCK are the ones that tend to win it, but the LPL on paper have players that can go pound for pound with LCK players for the most part. So we look at JDG, anyone's legend, and JDG fucking smoked anyone's legend this morning. I mean, smoked them. Anyone's legend had 6 total kills in 2 games. Game 2, JDG just fucking started taking
What's going on with my guy Tarzan?
For fun, the kill score was like 19-2.
What's going on with my guy Tarzan? What's going on with him?
I mean, it's coaching changes. Now they have Big Way as their coach, which was BLG's coach. But I mean, this is Shanks. This isn't Knight. This is Flandre. This isn't Ben. Tarzan is probably better than Shun, in my opinion. But also you don't have Elk. You have Hope, and that's a big downgrade. So, like, at the same time, I would say anyone's legend are a team that I expect to compete to go to World. So, like, bad games happen, bad series happen. I mean, it was ugly. They've had ugly series, but it also against Gen G. I expect Gen G to beat T1. I expect it to go to 3 games, but I expect Gen G to win. KT, I expect T1 to win that. They didn't, but I mean, beating DNS today and the fashion they did, DNS had a game 2 where they were competitive. But game 1 was very much in T1's favor. Who else did T1 even play? I had this up. T1, who else they play? Oh, HLE. They 2-0'd HLE.
Oh, right? They do that. Yeah, they did.
So, in HLE have been
you think they HLE is weird. At some point, the back of your head, you're thinking it's gonna just explode, and they're gonna actually be very, very good.
Yes.
Or it'll implode the other way, and they'll just be complete ass most of the year. That would be crazy if they were just if they did not go to Worlds with this roster. And I even said this when they brought in Kanavi. I think Kanavi was getting away with murder in the LPL, not because he was bad, but it's like the caliber competition is just that much more different. And he's only ever been in the LPL, and it was going to be a complete massive culture shock for him to come back and play against the LCK level of junglers. And when we're seeing how they're performing now, I don't even know. It's like they're on the cusp of getting it, but it's still not happening. It's such an odd roster to look at on paper. You feel like it should be dominating. It should be doing it, but it's just kind of not,
It really should be.
Mm-hmm.
It really should be. And I'm trying to think of who the coach is.
No. Oh my God. Is it Dandy?
No, Danny was with IG and he might be with IG now.
I thought it was Dandy for the longest time.
Dandy is out. Yeah. Dandy is Nongshim's coach now.
Oh, that's probably why they got a little bit more better. I think Zeka is the issue that Hama Life has.
Zeka could be. I mean, Zeka's damned as the third best. I would say he's the third best mid, like mechanically.
Yeah.
But when push comes to shove, Faker shows up, so he ends up being 4th.
Do you think if Hanwha Life replaced Zeka with Scout, that would fix a lot of their problems?
No. If you give Kanavi more, you can let him do what he did last series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he led the team in damage. What? No, not today. The series before. I'm looking at my board now. The series before. I mean, they let Kanavi run the show. He led the team in damage, had the best KDA, kill participant. And that's when Kanavi was at his best, was when he was just given the ball and to run with it. And there is something to be said for what you said about LCK competition. He never played in the LCK. You know, he played on Griffin as a backup behind Tarzan, so he never played. And this is a bigger team, but with players like Zeus and Guma, Delight, and even Zeka, like, they should be better.
And we also have to look back on when Faker was out for that little bit of time because his wrist was hurting really badly, and they had Poby. Guma and Zeus, they were looking like literally chickens with their heads cut off.
The whole team. Like
that's
that,
what you can tell, yeah.
That's what that moment was the BLG. No, that was the year they played Weibo. Was 23 Weibo or BLG finals?
That was the one where the Poby year was. That was when they played Weibo in the finals. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so they go and they swept Weibo, but in the next year, so that means 23 when Poby played for Faker, and the team sucked terribly. It was that moment that told me that Faker was one of the greatest players of all time, and at the very bare minimum was the MVP in this game, like as in general in this esport. And like you'd say, oh well, the wins and this and that, the highlight plays. I don't like using highlight plays for MVP status because, in my opinion, 99.9% of players cannot repeat highlight play performances consistently enough to say that's the standard, right? But when a team goes from being like a world's contending team, an MSI contending team, a world champion level team, to trash, when one player disappears, that player is the most valuable player. And it's true. Like they said, he was shot calling for everybody, and it's him and four, drones out there essentially. Right. And, I mean, maybe they don't have a shot caller. Maybe Kanavi never could do that with JDG and top esports, and Delight might not be able to do it. And in that case, you end up kind of fucked. You don't have a shot caller. You don't have a regular shot caller. Like,
yeah,
I think that was D plus Kia's problem with Canyon. That's why he had to leave, because Canyon can't shot call.
Also, that's the thing that Hololive also ran into as problems last year, was that, they get into this position where they couldn't get over some sort of hump they had. Like, they had peaked really hard in that very small pocket of time, winter last year, and then just for some people forget, they didn't actually get better or improve. They actually just steadily declined.
Yeah.
And then last year, when they still had Peanut and Viper, and they added in Zeus, it didn't really do anything. Like, they were only good for just a little bit of time, and then they haven't actually hit that stride ever again. And then you get rid of Peanut, who was their leading shot caller in the game, for Kanavi, who I don't really believe he was the shot caller of all the teams that he was successful on. I think he was just more of a passenger than anybody,
Well, I mean, I think he was just the guy not making the decisions. I think he's still like super good. Like I think Kanavi's one of like the top 3 junglers in the world, but or 4, I guess. But he he can't shot call. Someone else is making those decisions for him. So
the other thing they could cover before we talk about a little bit of sports here is the LEC. Actually, LEC began. The LEC is so wild. I guess it's weird. MKOI is a team that is now going through a lot of problems, and everyone's noticing it too. It's so odd. There are teams, so like in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's this guys. People know this. There's this deck called Mermail, and when it goes off, it looks very, very good. Looks beautiful. Actually, all the combos go off. You do everything perfectly. It just completely smashes your opponent into just the dirt. That's who MKOI has always been to be. They are Mermail. If they go off, they look really good. But if they don't go off, and they have to kind of be more of like, as we call in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a mid-range deck where you're kind of in that mid-game thinking about how to really push past a game to win it. Koi looks like that. Koi's a team where they can only play from ahead. Anything else is their floor is horrible. Merwin just is not that good of a top laner. He's all right at best. Elyoya, for some reason, is just not ganking, even on champions where you need to have a high jungle proximity as a champion to make your team get ahead in the game. He's not doing anything in some of these games. He's not even bad. He's just sitting there not doing anything. You remember when Closer, there that one split where he never ganked at all and got a level 1 kill like 9 weeks into the split? Elvira is just like not ganking for his team. Jojo is not bad. He's actually having a pretty good split overall, but he's not getting the jungle help he needs. And the bot lane of Super and Alvaro, they're also not as strong 2v2 as they were before. They've been kind of steadily declining. What do you think could fix them at this point now? Do you just need they need to just make a roster change, or they just kind of ride it out until the end of the year? Because remember, Merwin even said they didn't want to re-sign him for this year anyway. They got him Alfari to be his top lane coach. That's not really
that's not
improvement at all. Yeah.
No, Oscar probably.
Yeah, I think they need
he's a different type of top laner. I think they need a different top laner.
Because it doesn't feel like their team actually improves in anything. It feels like their ceiling is just like right here, and that's it. And keep in mind, guys, that can work. The style of League of Legends they played last year can still work. It's just like a lot of the problems would arise in the mid game problems where they didn't make correct decisions constantly, and they kept losing a lot of games. Because there'll be games where they have gold leads and they're doing the right things. It's just for some reason now, unless they absolutely just stomp someone in the game, they are nothing. They are completely nothing. They just do nothing in the game, and they kind of just let it go. Fnatic is another weird case with a team where Fnatic looked really badly. All their fans gave up.
Yeah.
All their fans gave up after that week 1. They were like, you know what? I think my time is over. Then they beat G2. I'm like, we're back. I was like, okay, I guess. I don't think so, but I guess. That's just crazy. If you guys saw the Doomer tweets I saw from Fnatic fans, they look like they're about to run and commit suicide.
Well, that roster on paper was worse than SK's going into spring. Like statistically, it was. I've never Razork and Humanoid. Now, obviously, Humanoid's not there anymore. But when Razork and Humanoid were there, split in and split out, they were like statistically on par with Yikes, Gumon, and Caps. And now you look at a situation where Humanoid's gone, and we could say, there were issues there. But Razork's never been so bad. Even when Razork was with Misfits, he wasn't this bad. And
it's true.
Upset is still doing Upset things, but I will say Upset is a good player. Might not be the best attitude, but is a good player. And alongside Laspa, who I think has no business being in the LEC. Unfortunately for him, that's not necessarily an indictment on him. I just think there are better supports out there that should be in his place. Like an Empros. Empros 2 years ago, I thought was at LEC level. Last year, I didn't have him there. So him being here with Fnatic, Fnatic struggled. And yeah, they beat G2, but like you just said about T1, right? G2 are going to try and work on things right now. They know we're going to get into playoffs, and then we're going to try and get to the international event. We get to the international event. Hopefully we fixed everything along the way. I hope Fnatic does. Vladi isn't terrible. I don't think he's a top 3 mid laner in the LEC. People, last year he peaked for a moment as being really, really good in winter. But at the same time, I was like, the meta, this, that, and the third. It's Koi definitely have Koi's problems are bigger because Koi have expectations to Koi should be a top 3 team in the LEC. So Mirwin being so unique, I really enjoy Mirwin's champion pool being so unique, but the problem is he hasn't become well-rounded as a player, and it's limiting everybody else because he's got to play range tops with agency and things of that nature, where if you played a guy like Oscar can give you a little bit of a Scion here or an Ornn here and allow Supa to get 25-26% of the team's gold and let him be aggressive. Last year, Melzet didn't let Supa be as aggressive. His DPM numbers were significantly down. That was Supa's thing. He had one of the best damage to gold ratios in 2024 out of anybody in the world. One of the best. His aggression was what was making Mad Lions Koi at the time so good. And now Koi, movie star Koi, It's like it seems like they're holding back, and you got 4 players that were been together for so long. Now it's like who gets the kick? It's got to be Mirwan. And in my opinion, Oscar is the one it's the easiest one.
Hey, they can always just randomly just grab Wonder. What if they just randomly did that?
I mean, they could.
I think Rooster is so underutilized on.
Yes.
I always call them shitters because that's what they are. They're just shitting. Good Lord. Just that's been a roster that's been circling the drain forever. Just all the players on there, like shifters. Like I think Rooster's the same thing. I look at Photon. Like if you were on a different team, you would be a whole lot more of a different player. But he's sadly stuck with Bukata,
who stinks.
Bukata's. Why did BDS, when they were called BDS, buy him out? Apparently $300K for Bukata. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
They still keep Nook. For whatever reason, they still keep Nook. I don't know why. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, I like Potok and Trimby. I like Potok. I think Potok is affected by the fact that early in his career, it hurt his development. He had to replace Duck Down when he was like 17 years old on DRX 2023. So after they just won Worlds. And so he was kind of screwed by that. Young player still playing in shifters now. I think Potok will be fine. I think he's better than Ice long term. I think he's better than Noah long term. And we see how good those imports are doing. Trimby, solid player. But Nuke even said it himself, like after this last week about losing and this and that. So clearly he's not thinking about the game anymore. He's thinking about other issues. So, you know, you have all these ERL talents. Go get one. And you don't even have to. You probably could find one. You don't even have to really spend a ton to get them. You could do what Heretics. I mean, I don't know how much Heretics spent for Hype and Way. Obviously they have Way now, but they're going to get Hype in summer
because Ice is going to do military service or whatever.
Yes, and I wonder how much they paid for them. But you could go to an ERL team and say, "Hey, I want to pay for this player," and end up paying for the other 4 contracts in that team's whole.
Do you know what's crazy about that, guys? This is Law Esports is such a crazy place. They basically announced they're getting rid of someone, and then people are wondering why is Ice not doing as well. Well, they kind of basically publicly admitted you're going to be gone out of a job in a year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's just saying to himself, he's just counting down the days until he has to go to service. You know,
you're like that meme. 21 more days till military service.
Yep, he's like, you really think I'm gonna scrim right now? I'm gonna enjoy being like free to not have to be in, not have to be in boot camp or whatever. That I don't know how the South Korean military handles their training, but
right.
Still, he's in Europe right now, and he's enjoying his time, and so he's thinking to himself, shit, in 2-3 months I got to go back home and I gotta do military service. So
well, Vitality, I will say Team Vitality, after how much shit I've given them all throughout the many years, because guys, they were awful for literally not 2018. They've been pretty much just like what Dignitas is in the LCS, but this year I will say they actually, I don't think what's crazy is I don't think they're going to win a split, but they do look like a legitimate dark horse to actually win. Their team is actually what's crazy because Vitality always meant you vitalize yourself, you feel better. It was never Team Vitality before this year. That was horrible what they were going. That was the opposite of Vitality. Now they actually look like a legitimate team. They could easily be like the 3rd best team right now. They beat Koi. A lot of their other wins have looked very, very good. Nako, the best top laner, arguably next to Kana. Humanoid has bounced back from not doing good on Fnatic. Linkus, who was really, he had 4 splits in a row where he was just not that good. For some reason, it's like, I'll be a jungler this year. Okay, it's good. Karzi and Fleshy look like a solid bot lane. They actually have a good team. I don't know what they're drinking, what they're eating, if they're eating too much American French fries over there, because I know the whole order is French, but god damn. Pat, not Mac, because Mac is not a different person in their coaching staff. Whoever is working on their coaching staff did a really, really good job on kind of getting them in a mindset that they can actually win with these games. They're actually a really exciting team to watch, though. I don't think they're going to win a split, but if Vitality were to ever make a finals, because then people have factor in, Same thing like Dig. They've only ever peaked out at a third, fourth place match, and they lost those two. This is the year I think they could make a finals, their first finals in 10 years. One finals in 10 years. That's still horrible. But at least, as the NA say, we take those.
I mean, that's what happens when you have the second best mid in the region, probably, in Humanoid, right? Domestically, out of one, he had one bad split with Fnatic last year, really statistically. And it helps Lynchus alongside him because Lynchus was with Zajac last year, and Zajac was not at an LEC level. So Lynchus kind of had his hands tied. And with Humanoid, he's doing well. Nako needed some time to get better, and he's better now. And Karzi's always been very good, inconsistent at times, but over the entirety of his career, everyone thinks he's so old. He's not. He started his career, he was like 17, 18 years old when he was with Matt, and they didn't get out of Worlds in like 2020 or whatever it was.
I'd argue the only ever really bad year he had was when Vitality had that super team with Lebrov. That was probably the only real truly bad year he had. Other than that, he's actually looked very, very good. He's been a very consistent player for the most part, always doing enough damage, always putting himself in spots where he can get the most out of summoner spells being activated and everything.
Yeah, doing his job. Like, he does his job very well. So, like, this team is good enough. Now, I think Na'Vi will have something to say about that because I think Na'Vi are pretty good. They play
another surprise. Yeah.
Yes. They're not like as mechanic. Like, Poby is not as good as Humanoid. Poby might become as good as Humanoid, but Poby is not. Maintner is kind of just going with the flow. But Rylik is the real fucking deal in the jungle. That kid is the real deal. So
very good. Yeah. He's actually really talented.
He is. I can see now why they locked him in last year, halfway through the year, and pretty much said, "You're in contract prison. We're going to pay you not to play, so you can play for us next year." They're doing great. I mean, looking at my board here, it's just like right now it is between Na'Vi and Vitality for that third spot. So, because Koi are struggling, I think either of those teams could go to Worlds.
I wonder who else is there, because G2 is a weird case where they'll drop a series here and there, but G2 is a team where, as you guys already know, for how many splits. Usually, I actually never do this, but they've done it so consistently. I'm like, you know what? I'll just kind of, once they make the playoffs, I'll really just evaluate how good G2 is, because they've did it so many times. It's like they're either going to be a top 4 team, make it in the playoffs, and most likely, for the most part, win. Who else is there that we're forgetting about? Well, SK just sucked, guys. Well, I don't really know what else SK is horrible.
Yeah. It's KC. It's just G2 KC. Yeah. And then you got Na'Vi, Vitality, and Koi.
Like, GX, I don't think GX, I'll be honest here, I don't think GX is that good, honestly. I know the broadcast likes to hype them up. I think GX is only good bot lane wise, and I mean that they're like all right bot lane wise. I think no one general are an all right solid bot lane. I don't think, guys, Isma is not good. Isma this sucks really bad.
No,
Lot is what, a poor man's impact.
Yeah, it's an average team, truly an average team. And even thinking, like, looking now, like Heretics, I love Trayson. I think he's a very underrated player because Nako is getting so much pub.
Right.
And Sheo, I think, is very, very good. I think over the last 3 years, I would say Sheo's you could argue the third best jungler in the LEC. But yeah, I mean, and then Fnatic and SK.
Let's see right here. Give me 1 second, guys. Regions. There's regions. Holy crap. There are regions. Good Lord. I'm going to bring it right here.
But it's just
let's see. For forgetting some of the teams here. So, yeah, it's crazy. I know Heretics are in 10th. They don't look like a 10th place team.
No,
I will just say that.
No, their drafting is what's getting them 10th place. Like, putting Trayson on Sion, I think I tweeted out, was so they've done it twice in a row. Your best, you have Trayson into Lot. Let Trayson win that matchup. Why are we putting him on Sion so he loses the matchup? And now you're in a situation where Jackie's is better than Saren, so he's going to win that matchup. And you end up now with your solo laners for Giant X winning the matchup. So now Sheo is fucked. He can't win that. Like, he's got no winning lanes. It's like they screwed up.
Also, there's another big problem that the LEC has ran into, the same thing as Summer Split last year, where they don't, keep in mind, barring studio cost and everything, they don't run the studio to the point where, like, okay, so G2 will play once, and then they play once again. Then they're playing 2 series, and then they're playing 1. That's how it is for a lot of these teams. And keep in mind, it's not just G2. I just use G2 as an example. Every team has this where, like, yeah, Shifters did lose their first series. But guys, that's the only series they played. A lot of other people have played like more than 1 because for some reason they can't run the studio more than 3 days. And I think on Friday they play 3 matches or whatever. I think on Friday's the only day they play the 3 matches. One of the days they play the 3 matches between Saturday through Monday. But now we're at a point where, like, how do you even get adequate stage time though? I guess you get more because it is a best of 3. But if you're only playing 1 best of 3 on the week, that's not good enough. Yep. That's not enough. Minus scrimming too, obviously.
Yeah, the schedule sucks, and I know they're doing it because of road shows. They want to be able to play in Spain and France, etc., and then have it so that, we're in Spain, let's have all the Spanish teams play. We're in France, let's make sure all the French teams play. And it does end up where you have 2 weeks where Shifters only played 1 series, but then there's some where I think teams have to play 3 series in 3 days. Yeah. And it's like, that's not fair to those teams that have to prepare for those series. It's much easier to prepare for 1 opponent than it is for 3.
And like week 7, because I saw this when they announced the schedule, Karmine Corp on week 7, depending on the results, is 3. Got to play 3 series. GX that week has to play 3. Koi also have to play 3. I'm pretty sure that this is the roadshow week because you have all the Spanish and French teams going against each other. Maybe. Because right now we're going to be coming up on week 3. And this is the split where it's not like LEC versus last split. Only 6 teams make playoffs this time around, don't they?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah. Ooh.
That makes the regular season matter.
Yes, 16. Because remember when LCS was doing 8 teams?
Oh my God, it was a fucking joke. It was like LEC versus this year with the 8 out of 12 teams. It's like, we have a 3-way tie, and Los Ratones are butthurt this and that because they don't get in. It's like, you sucked too. Like, you shouldn't have been in there either. Just like Fnatic, just like Shifters. Everyone gives Fnatic shit for that one, but Shifters were part of that 3-way tie as well.
Also, and GX too. GX just randomly dropped the game to Karmine Corp Blue. Who had, no offense to that top laner. After that split, you're probably not getting any offers. No offense to you. You were bad. Yeah,
that kid needs a little bit more time.
Another thing. What's the crazy part of that LCS time? Because Golden Guardians was 5-13. And in my mind, guys, I have to kind of do this in my brain when you have bad formats like that. They can barely string together 5 wins out of 18 games. Now I'm supposed to believe they can win 3 on a day in 1. No. Keep in mind, this is back when the LCS had 10 teams.
Yep.
And now the LEC, keep in mind, having 6 teams getting in is fine. It's just like, now you're looking at the competitive field. It's like, hey, if Fnatic, if you don't play your cards right, you're not going to be in playoffs. And actually, should that be the question, though? Because keep in mind, Fnatic shouldn't have actually been in playoffs last split. They only got it because another team won for them. Keep in mind, had that team not, had another team had not beaten another team, that Fnatic G2 game, Fnatic would have been out of playoffs because they would have lost it. Fnatic actually got lucky that another team beat somebody else to make sure that happened for them. Yep. Do Fnatic actually make playoffs to split? It's like, I know they had that series against G2, but do people are forgetting the series before looked very bad, actually. So, I don't know.
I mean, Fnatic, by beating G2, that is a big deal.
That does help, yeah.
That helps. That's a series that you would imagine they'd lose. So, now they just need to win the ones they should win, right? They should. But the problem is that roster is on par with, in my opinion, with a Giant X and a Heretic. It's not like I could say you should be able to beat these guys. It's like Empro's might lose into Trayson, and upset Laspa might lose into Ice and Way. And it's like, okay, well, shit, now we've lost, and into a Heretic situation, or even with Giant X and Jackie's into Vladdy would be a fun match. It's always a fun matchup, but Jackie's could win that. So Fnatic might not make it.
And that's that'll cover for the Law Esports side. But I want to cover one last thing before we head out of here in a little bit.
Yep.
The NBA. So, oh God, being a Lakers fan is just, it's just so bad. I just hate it here sometimes. I would say, yes, there is a 50-win season back-to-back. JJ Redick, the second Lakers head coach to have a 50 back-to-back win season ever since Phil Jackson. So that's, I guess you could say, well, this is the modern era of doing this. Is not when Phil Jackson was coaching them. A little bit different, I would say. But I guess you could say still made it happen, as the kids say it these days. Then what happened was Luka Doncic, hamstring injury, and then Austin Reeves had an injury too. That means, guys, no offense, the Lakers just straight up lost their best players. Those are the best players on the team. But my LeBron James, those are the best players on the team. We know this because before LeBron came back from his break, the Lakers actually, 15-2? 15-2 without LeBron, who has a no trade clause. So we know who the best players are. Also, LeBron James ducked out of facing Wembyana the last time they played against the Spurs. The Lakers, I know people like to shit on the Knicks for losing to top teams. Lakers are 1-10 against every top team. 1-10. The only one they have against the Nuggets went into overtime. That's because Austin Reeves lobbed the ball at the free throw line and they just made a layup shot. That was it. Only reason why they won. Okay. And you have to resort to antics like that. Well, you're starting to think like, damn, can this happen in a long series? So, yeah, but they beat Golden State. MSK, you should be happy with that. Golden State, guys, is terrible. And not because any other alternative reason. All their best players are injured. Jimmy Butler, ACL. They lost that other guy when his knee went into his kneecap or something. Oh, my God. Half their players are out. Warriors are pretty much tanking at this point. They got blasted by OKC. The Lakers, guys, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, they're probably going to face the Rockets. Are they going to win against the Rockets when they don't have Austin Reeves or Luka? No. I only thought they were going to beat the Rockets because they have Austin Reeves and Luka. Now that they don't have them, the Rockets have now hit a stride recently where they're actually starting to actually look very good now. It's like, yeah. Then the NBA gets into a period where tonight's game with the Clippers and the Portland Trailblazers, there's a battle for 8th, and if you win that, you're pretty much secured in getting into the play-ins. The NBA and a lot of the teams involved, which is the Clippers and the Portland Trailblazers, they're like, this is a battle for 8th. No, you shouldn't build as a battle for 8th. No one's going to care if it's billed as a battle for 8th. Guys, to be honest, no one cares about 8th place teams. If you're talking from a casual point of view, just a casual point of view, unless it's your team you're rooting for, you do not care about an 8th place team. It's never happened ever. That's what built is like playoffs on the line. These two teams are going to battle. Clippers started 6-21. Trailblazers started 10-3 or something like that. Yeah, that's how you build that matchup. It's in the plans is another thing where guys, most of these teams going to the plans are going to face OKC or the Pistons or the Celtics. They're going to get washed completely. But guys, I'm not going to lie here. If the Warriors, if the Trailblazers face the Thunder, we're about to witness stuff on the courts you probably shouldn't be witnessing. I'm talking like, remember last year, there was a point where OKC, it was the Cavs against like the Pacers. The Pacers had 94. The Cavs had 34. That was an actual game that happened. If the Clippers actually end up facing OKC, they win this matchup tonight. Would they win again? I'll give them a few games. I'll give you a few games, maybe. You're not winning the whole thing. Trailblazers absolutely have no chance in anything. But I don't know, man. I don't know if you watch the NBA or if I'm just, going off. But I think you just like casually watch the NBA or you have a team.
I'll be honest, man. I can't say that I'm a big NBA guy. It's just I can't deal with flopping, man. I can't deal with flopping. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
Is the Shea thing?
Well, Shea, but I mean that's how I felt flopping. Like, what's the average height of the NBA? 6'5"?
Yeah.
Like, we are big dudes here. We're flopping around on the ground like we just fell like a bag of feathers. All right, And it's. I guess don't get me wrong. I really am a big Steph Curry guy, coming down to the end of his career, but ever since he played with Davidson, like that run in March Madness was honestly one of the most memorable things for me. Like just as a sports fan, like I guess that's like, and I don't want to say because then people are like, oh, so you're a Golden State guy. It's like I like the way Golden State had done it only because they had really built through the draft at first. I understand they got Durant eventually, but like Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson were clearly the core, you know, and that was brought in. The super team deal kind of like really killed it for me. You know, even like I'm thinking all the way back to like we're talking like Celtics with Garnett, Pierce, and
oh yeah.
I don't even think Rondo was one of the three. Was he?
It feels so
he might have been the fourth
now.
one. Yeah,
it just feels so bad now. But like based off what the Warriors are doing, and it's not just like Curry has been out for the most part for like the last 2 months, and it doesn't help them that most of the other needed pieces to do better are all injured now. Some of them guys might have be coming back in for like another 2 years minimum.
Yeah, they're done, and it is what it is. They had a good run.
They did, yeah.
You could argue they had like a dynasty going there. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. More of a you know, NHL playoffs are coming up. You know, if you don't watch hockey, if people do watch hockey that watch, I just tell you, there's no better playoffs than hockey. Because it's the only sport where you only sit in the box for 5 minutes if you punch somebody in the mouth because they did some dirty shit out there, you know? Like, players have to answer the bell when they do dirty shit in this sport.
Yeah.
And you know, I love hockey, man. I love hockey.
NFL ain't coming back for a while, so we'll have to see what pans out with that. You know, I see a lot of Seahawks fans now out there with their shirts these days.
Yep. They went away for a couple of years, but now all of a sudden they got their. Who would have thought Sam Darnold, Super Bowl champion?
God. Well, as you guys know, with the Cloud9 podcast, considering how much life was going on with me, I'm gonna try to do the show as often as I can. Maybe if we're gonna do the show, it's gonna be every 2 weeks because you can't be on every week because you have lives going on too.
Yeah.
Crazy. I don't know how any of you league fans out there could just sit and watch league all the time. Do you not have a job? Do you not have any life responsibilities?
They must not. They must not.
They must have that new kid mentality. I saw a kid, dude, literally say, a person asked him, why don't you get a job? He was like, jobs are modern slavery. Why would I get one of those? Well, you know what? The generation's cooked. They fry everything. Just burn it to the ground.
There you go.
And then people wonder why they want everything for free. You have a job. It makes perfect sense. But do you have anything planned coming that you would like to let the audience know about?
Just, go to my YouTube channel, Andrew DeStefano. I have daily content going up. Nothing really in the works. Join my Discord if you're not a member of the Discord. We're trying to push that recently. It's in the description of my video. So if you join the channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, you'll see the link to the Discord if you'd like to join that. But otherwise, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, anytime, man. So I'll just want to let you guys know, if you guys do not see any more episodes of this show, it's not because it's canceled. I want to make sure it's not canceled. If we're not doing this show next week, we'll just try to do it every couple of weeks to catch up on stuff here. Also keep in mind, guys, there's only so many Dignitas games I can watch for my brain. People should watch what Palafox did on Twisted Fate this last week. That would make your brain just absolutely just fry. There was a moment where Zayu took himself on Pantheon and flew himself into 3 Caitlyn traps. What? Oh, yeah. Oh, this guy's overrated. He's one of my biggest fans. He's overrated, actually. Yeah. So, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Cloud9 Podcast. You guys have a great week.